You're watching News at Prime. Let's continue now with our coverage around the explosive allegations by the KZN Police Commissioner General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who raised serious allegations about Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and senior officials within the SAPS. Mkhwanazi alleging that there's political interference in police investigations. Let's touch base now with Newzroom Afrika's Silethiwe Ndlovu, who spoke to various officials earlier in KwaZulu-Natal. Let's talk to her now. Silethiwe, good evening to you. Who have you had conversations with, and how concerned are they about what Mkhwanazi detailed on Sunday?
Well, we've spoken to a few unions and a few organizations, Xoli, but there's much concern coming from the people that we spoke to, not just today, but also yesterday, and also much concern coming from those officials, unions, and organizations. Of course, this is a serious matter, and these are serious, of course, allegations. But from the conversations that we had earlier on with some of those organizations and unions, some of them have already stated that they stand in solidarity with the KZN Police Commissioner. They state that he is, of course, seasoned in his work, and he would not have made those allegations without any investigations going into, of course, those allegations that were made on Sunday. But when we tried to solicit a comment only from other officials, we were not able to receive a response. Of course, a lot of them mentioning that they would only be commenting on the matter once the president does actually intervene in this situation. But the organizations that we spoke to earlier on, a lot of them stating that they will be marching in support of the KZN Police Commissioner, and this is despite the fact that these are at this point merely allegations, but coming from the other individuals that we spoke to earlier on, they do state that there is, of course, quite a bit of concern when you are looking at how those investigations are actually conducted. Now, we had a conversation just a while ago with the CPF in the province. They state that they support not just the KZN Police Commissioner, but they also support the Police Minister, and this is now, of course, Senzo Mchunu. But coming from Action SA, whom we also spoke to earlier on, they state that they stand in solidarity with the KZN Police Commissioner. I just want us to have a listen, Goli, to what they had to say to us earlier on.
We voiced out our support for both the minister and the SAPS and the provincial commissioner's support in the current time. But what we want to do is we want to see all of these things getting out of the media, going back to basics, into the conduct processes of the South African Police Services. We believe that the integrity that has been installed and the systems that are there must assist us in going forward. This will also evade a lot of chaos and noise that is there. We've seen as a lesson in KZN, coming from the arrest of the former President Jacob Zuma, how people may react on situations without proper knowledge, without proper guidance in such situations. So for us to learn and give guidance into this situation, we must find a way to go back to the books and do things procedurally.
I think first of all we must commend General Mkhwanazi for being brave and coming out to really reveal what's happening with our security cluster in South Africa. But it shows that our country is run by criminals, but also shows that he has no faith in the system itself, because the information that he was presenting, clearly he knows that it should be presented within the law enforcement. But if he had faith in the law enforcement, he would have done so. But you see, he's brave, and I think he's one of the brave whistleblowers to come out in the public and tell us what is going on within the police. And I think it's the first time in our country where the police commissioner can really implicate the police minister and the deputy commissioner. And I think most will be scared to come out, and I think we must really praise his bravery. It's for that reason, as Action SA, we fully support Mkhwanazi.
just like the sentiments, Xoli, I can tell you that were shared when my colleague Skara actually conducted that interview. There are also a few people in the province that are also calling for the removal of the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. However, of course, these are allegations at this point, and we do, of course, know that the president is set to intervene. However, if you look at some of the individuals that we spoke to earlier on, they have already proclaimed their stance, stating that they stand in support of the KZN Police Commissioner.